Jenna, and today I'm here doing the Star Wars book tag in celebration of the release of Star Wars Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker. Now, full disclaimer, I do not know when this video is going up, so I don't actually know if the Star Wars film is out yet or if it's not out yet, but all I do know is it's not out at the time of filming, so I haven't seen it. It is coming out in 10 days, I think. 11 days! I am so excited. I literally can't wait. I am a ball of emotions thinking about that film because it's the end of the Skywalker saga and I'm not ready, but I'm still so excited to see what they do. Okay, the Star Wars freak out of the way. There are 11 questions on this tag that I'm going to be doing. They relate to characters from the Star Wars universe and I'm really excited. They only relate to characters from the original and the prequels. They're not the sequel trilogies, but like that's fine. And I'm gonna jump right in. So here we go. Question number 1, R2-D2, a book that made you laugh out loud. Now the book I have chosen for this one is not because it's a comedy, not because it had like funny moments in it, but because the book in itself is poorly written and just wasn't good that it made me laugh because it was that bad. And that book is Losing Brave by Bailey Madison and Stephanie Miller. I really wanted to love this book because I love Bailey Madison to pieces, but wasn't very good, and the main character kept calling her dad daddy, and this girl was like 17, and it just bugged me from like beginning to end. And so it just made me laugh. Every time she said it, she'd be like daddy, and I'm like, nope, all I think of is Veronica Lodge from Riverdale, and that is just awkward. So it made me laugh because of that mostly, and because of the ending twist was just like, what? So yes, this book, not great, but good for a laugh if you're like in for a fun trashy ride. Question number 2, Padme Amidala, kick butt female character. It's kind of amusing to me that Padme is like a kick butt female character because she was for like a film and then she wasn't, which is a shame because she was my favorite. But you know, I think Rey or even Leia would be a better choice for that. But anyway, my book choice is Caledonia from Sci-Fi by Natalie C. Parker. So Sci-Fi is a book about kick-ass female pirates, all led by Caledonia, and she is just so fierce and she really goes out and she takes what she wants, and she's really fiercely loving of her family and she wants to protect them. So she is just a kick-butt female character all around and I love her. Question number 3, Leia Organa, best or worst love triangle. So I've gone with worst, and it's not the worst love triangle that I've ever read, but it is the stupidest, and that is the love triangle in the Hunger Games series by Suzanne Collins, which is between Katniss, Peter and Gale. And the reason it's stupid is because it shouldn't exist, because Gale sucks. And there was never anything between Katniss and Gale ever. And Katniss makes it really clear in the first book. She's like, we're just mates, you know, he takes care of me, I take care of him. That's what happens. And then the whole thing with Peter with, you know, trying to survive the Hunger Games happens. And I'm like, you two have been through something pretty traumatic together. Like, feel free to be in love. And it was a stupid love triangle because neither guy was good for Katniss. But it was also stupid because it was so unnecessary in a trilogy like this. You know, this trilogy is literally about a rebellion to stop a, what's the word? It's not a democracy, it's the other one. You know what I'm talking about, the one where like people tell you what you do, the dictatorship. To stop the dictatorship and spark this rebellion. I'm like, there's no time for a love triangle in something like that. I don't particularly care. I want to know how Katniss is going defeating the Capitol and how she's going saving everybody. Like, that's what I care about. I think one of the reasons this had a love triangle was because the love triangle in Twilight was so successful. So Suzanne Collins was like, cool, so love triangles are a thing. And I'm like, well, no, they're not. And they shouldn't be in a book like this. So stupid love triangle. Question number 4, Luke Skywalker, rising new author, an author you've recently discovered that you love. So this is Poppy Nuoso, who is the author of Making Friends with Alice Dyson, and the new book coming out, which is, it has a title and a cover and looks great. I don't know. So Poppy is actually a friend of mine. She is in the YA Circle book club that I go to. Her book is incredible, and that's saying something from me because I hate contemporary, but this one I really did enjoy. It was written in such a way that it was impossible to not enjoy it. It was really cutesy and I loved every second of it. She's a great author. I cannot wait to see what she comes up with next. Question number 5, Anakin Skywalker. A book or series that started off good and then turned bad. So I originally had a different series on my list for this question, and then I was looking at my bookshelf and I spotted this series and I went, of course, it couldn't be anything else. And that is the Fifth Wave trilogy by Rick Yancey. So the Fifth Wave is a fantastic book. It really is. It's brilliant. It's so well thought out, and it's so like, oh my god, so much is happening, but also I'm so stressed about all the characters, and I'm stressed and I want to know more about the aliens, and just everything was brilliant. So well done. Then we get to the Infinite Sea, which was alright, but it split the narrative down the middle, and so we had like one part of the narrative that focused on everybody, and then one part of the narrative that focused on like this one character that no one cared about. So that was interesting. And then we get to The Last Star. We had to wait 2 years for this book, and it was not worth the wait. It was so confusing. It was such a letdown. It was so anticlimactic, and just nothing about it was worth the 2-year wait, you know? I wanted to know about Cassie, and I wanted to know about how she can, you know, defeat the others, and how she can do everything, and it didn't happen, and it was very disappointing. And yeah, it was really disappointing because The Fifth Wave was such a good book, and this one just wasn't. It was such a letdown, and considering we had to wait an extra year for the book, I was like, how, why? So that is definitely a series that started off really good and ended really badly. Question number 6, Qui Gon Jin, worst character death. So I've decided to go real old school and real cliche, but I'm going with Dobby from the Harry Potter series. Spoilers, by the way, but I think everyone pretty much knows this by now. And the reason I'm going with Dobby is just, it wasn't that it was like the worst character death. I think it was a really necessary death, honestly, to really, you know, hammer home how awful the Death Eaters are and how awful Bellatrix is, and to make Dobby a hero. But it was so heartbreaking to read about, because it's this little innocent little creature who loves and adores Harry and will do anything for him, and he pays for that with his life. And it's like, yep, that's depressing, but made sense within the context of the story. Let's go with that. Question 7, Han Solo, a book with a lot of sass. I had to think long and hard about this one, but eventually I came to The Disasters by M.K. England. This is a ragtag group of misfits who shouldn't be together but are, and they're basically trying to save the world. It's one of these situations where it's like, well, this is it. This is what you've got to work with. Have fun. And it was such a great book because all those characters were so sassy with each other. The book itself was just full of sass, and I was like, this is a really fun, enjoyable read. I really enjoyed it. I loved MK's writing style. I loved everything about it. It was great because there was so much sass coming off of everyone and everything in the story that you just felt like you were reading someone who was constantly flipping their hair like, I'm better than you. And it was just so much fun. Question number 8, Emperor Palpatine, best world building. Can I just say I love that that's like Emperor Palpatine because he orchestrates everything. I love it. The book I have chosen for this is A Court of Wings and Ruin by Sarah J. Maas. This is the 3rd book in the trilogy, but this is the one where we really go out and see the majority of the world. And I love that. I love that we go out and we see more of Prithian and we see more of everything, and you really start to piece together how everyone fits together. And it's not until this book that happens, and I loved it. I thought it was really, really, really well done, and I actually like that it took us until this book for that to happen. I feel like it made it all the more sweet knowing that we had to wait that much longer. Question 9, Ben/ObiWan Kenobi, a book that you went into with low expectations but then it blew your mind. So for this I'm going with The Evolution of Claire by Tess Sharp. I went into this with the lowest of low expectations. I always go into film tie-ins really with low expectations because they might not capture the character that you love on screen well enough in the book. They might be just really bad. They might contradict things. So you go into them with such low expectations, but I love the Jurassic World series. I love Claire as a character, and I went into this one, my expectations were like here, and then I read the book and I was like, it's so good. It blew my mind. It was so good. It actually was my favorite book that I read last year. I loved it so much. I loved getting to see a little bit of the Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom Claire rather than the Jurassic World Claire, but we also got to see hints of that and how that happened, and I loved everything about it. It was such a good book. I loved it so much. Question 10, Yoda, a book that taught you. So for this question I'm going with The Upside of Unrequited by Becky Albertelli, just because this book taught me a lot about self-love and being okay with the person that you are, and the fact that, I mean, even though there was like a big romantic plot line in this book, that's not how I took took it. I took it as sort of like, so long as you're happy with who you are, you're going to be happy no matter what. And I loved that, and that is what I learned from this book, and that is such an important lesson that everyone does need to learn, because you will only be happy, even if you're in a relationship, you will only be happy in that relationship if you were happy with yourself. And that's something I think everyone needs to know and understand, because it's so true. You just have to love yourself. Question number 11, Darth Vader, your favorite villain. Once again, I had to think long and hard about this one because I don't really like villains, like they're not likable. So I wasn't sure if it meant like a really good villain or, you know, something like that, but no, it said favorite villain. So I've gone with the villain that I love and everyone's like, you shouldn't love him, but I do. And that's Sebastian Morgenstern from the Mortal Instruments series by Cassandra Clare. I know I shouldn't love him. I know he's super evil, but I kinda do. I like his bad boy attitude. I like how fiercely protective he is of his sister. I don't love that he has incestual feelings towards her, but if you pretend that doesn't happen, then he's just like a really lovely big brother. I can't justify why I love him, because all of the reasons why I do are all the reasons why you should hate him. So I think this is a lot more about me than it is about him, but I really like reading his stories. I love how he goes about being a villain, and I just, yeah, everything about him I love. And it didn't help when the TV show cast Will Tudor to play his, like, because you guys know, spoilers, but you guys know how he like pretends to be someone else. He pretends to be Sebastian. So they cast Will Tudor to play Sebastian, and then the guy they cast to play Jonathan, also, they were both really good looking, and I was like, well, never gonna not love this guy. So that's a thing. Yep. And there you go, that was my Star Wars book tag. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know in the comment section below your answers to some of these questions, because I would absolutely love to know. If you like this video, be sure to give it a huge thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss a thing. Stay random. Bye.